evening, everybody. Before we get going, because we have a lot to talk about over the next few days, I think it's important that we recognize what's top of mind for probably everybody here. There is an escalating conflict in the Middle East brought on by a horrific terrorist event, and many of us know people, have family in region, and it is a horrific humanitarian crisis. We are here to talk about other topics, but it will be top of mind, I am sure, all week. And I would just ask everybody to be a little more empathetic, a little more generous, a little more human this week. So thank you. Welcome to Screentime. This is a long time coming. We weren't totally sure if we could pull this off, if you would come join us, if this was too adjacent to financial capital markets coverage that we're so well known for. I think you validated it was the right decision, for sure. But frankly, we made the decision because the story of the convergence of media, tech, culture, and finance is a humongous business story, one that Bloomberg covers every day on all of our platforms. I actually wanted to call this conference Converge, and I was thinking maybe we'd drop the G and the E and put a J on the end, because, you know, LA, cool, and every great conference is one name, right? TED, Davos, Collision, NEF. Well, you don't know that one yet, but you will. But the team looked at me and rolled their eyes, and the fact is, Lucas Shaw and his team have been out here for the last few years truly covering the media and entertainment industry in a way that I don't know everyone is doing. And so really, the decision was easy. His newsletter is being read by everybody in the industry. And frankly, when I go to a dinner, they say, "Oh, Lucas Shaw." So here we are with Screentime. Some of the most valuable companies in the world, tech platforms, media companies, most iconic logos that we know in business, make up this incredible global media and entertainment industry. It's roughly $2.6 billion. You'll see some of the players here this week. It's also astounding that we are now spending, and I checked this, 12 hours of our day consuming some type of media. That is, for all you math majors, 50% of the day. So this is a big business that consumes us personally and professionally. Well, Bloomberg brings, I think, a financial and business acumen and, frankly, an international lens to this in a way that maybe others don't. The flows of capital, content, culture right now are truly global. We set up this business 30 years ago and have a footprint that is unrivaled. We have 3,000 journalists all over the world. We have studios and distribution in all corners of the world. If anyone was ready to tackle global media and entertainment, it was Bloomberg. You're all familiar with the word context. If you're a writer, producer, you think about camera angles, backstories. If you're a deal maker, you think about the context of the deal, the history. We've adopted a new mantra here. Context changes everything. It's sort of our mantra for Bloomberg Media. And that really suggests that we're trying to give you the story behind the story, that we're going to connect the dots, that we're going to go deeper, be more thoughtful. And we've built that great platform I mentioned. We've got 2 streaming networks. We've got Bloomberg TV and radio here on location. We've got Business Week. They'll be on stage. We've got 50 million people on the website, 60 email newsletters, 30 podcasts, and live events like this that we do all over the world. But we're also trying to build a platform for connections. And that's what a live event can be so good at, connecting you, allowing you to network. In March, we hosted a dinner here in LA. It was a great dinner, frankly. and many of you were there. And it was really, I think, eye-opening to see that even though all of the attendees were in LA, they hadn't really gotten together and talked. And I was listening at the deal making going on, and we should get together, let's get lunch, let's talk about that podcast. It was happening right there, and it really was a light bulb, I think, for all of us and for people there, that I think we can bring a platform for connections here. So you're gonna enjoy amazing conversations on this stage and other stages. We have a phenomenal lineup. Lucas will tell you about it. The experience will be second to none, the food, the wine, the music, love it all, but talk to people, connect, get some new partnerships, do some deals, make some money. This is year one for Screentime. We are committed to invest in this platform. We hope you are committed. This is for you as well. So give us feedback on what went right, what didn't. We plan to be back next year. I want to thank everyone who made this possible. If you've never been involved with a live event of this size, you have no idea how many people it takes. It is and I look at the budget, so I know how many people it takes. From finding guests, speakers, delegates, cutting badges, laying down the stage, making your experience great, food and beverage, guys behind the camera, master control. It's astounding. So thank you to everybody who did make this possible. The hard work does not go unnoticed by anybody here, and certainly not by me. So enjoy Screentime. Have a great couple days. Welcome.
We're talking about the supply chain behind making shows.
Where are we going? Barbie Land!
The boundaries of the entertainment world are blurring, and they're all scrambling for the same thing. Screentime. The stakes have never been higher for Hollywood, and navigating this multiverse is no simple task. Across film, television, gaming, technology, sports, music, and more. It's culture, business, technology, converged. Welcome to Bloomberg Screentime. Please welcome to the stage Screentime host and Bloomberg managing editor of media and entertainment, Lucas Shaw.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Scott, for the kind words, and really thank you all for being here. We've been working on this for more than a year. I think we've put together a pretty good lineup of speakers, so I hope you'll stay for all of tonight and certainly tomorrow. That begins this evening. We've got Ari Emanuel kicking things off. He's the CEO of Endeavor, the CEO of TKO Holdings. You probably first knew of him as a Hollywood agent. He's now a combat sports king. He recently closed a deal for WWE, which is one of many things we'll be talking about with him tonight. After Ari, we're going to have Donna Langley, who recently got promoted to be the Chief Content Officer at NBC Universal, very big job. She's been one of the best studio chiefs in Hollywood for a long time and is behind two of the year's biggest movies, Super Mario Brothers, #2 movie this year, as well as Oppenheimer, which for my money is probably the biggest surprise of the year, certainly in Hollywood. A 3-hour biopic about the atomic bomb that grossed more than $900 million. Pretty incredible. Also tonight, we'll be unveiling Bloomberg Businessweek's Ones to Watch. This is a new list of rising stars, up-and-comers in the business of media, entertainment, and technology. I will not spoil the list. That goes to Joel Weber, the editor of Bloomberg Businessweek. He's going to give you guys a sneak peek at it, and he will also be interviewing one of the people on the list who is a major local celebrity, or if you do not know her, you should soon. For those that don't know me, my name is Lucas Shaw. They've said it, so I don't know why I'm even saying it. But I lead a team of very talented journalists covering the business of pop culture at Bloomberg. I'm also the author of a weekly newsletter called Screentime, which Scott mentioned. I've been writing it for a very long time. I started a newsletter more than a decade ago when newsletters weren't really a big thing. And I was mostly just mad that my friends weren't reading what I wrote. So I would copy and paste articles that I wrote into Gmail, and then I think at the time I started maybe 40 people on BCC, and I would blast it out. It's evolved a little bit since then. But I was at the time, and still today, sort of obsessed with the relationship between Hollywood and Silicon Valley, which then was very tense. You know, you had people in Hollywood who saw the tech companies as pirates who had gotten rich off their work and not paid them enough. You know, the folks in Silicon Valley who thought that the people in Hollywood were Luddites and, you know, were basically just trying to fight innovation. You know, in the decade since I started that newsletter and just over the past many years, the lines between technology, media, entertainment, they've blurred. You know, you just need to take a look. A company like Alphabet is one of the biggest tech companies in the world, but it makes almost all of its money from advertising. It helps monetize all of you, what you search, what you look for, your information. It's in that way not that different from what TV networks, radio stations, newspapers have done forever. Or you look at a Netflix, which started as a tech company and is now one of the biggest Hollywood studios. That transition has not been easy, and I'd say the last few years in particular have been pretty bumpy, as probably a lot of people in this room can attest to. Stock prices for a lot of these companies are in the toilet. We're hopefully near the end of one of the longest labor stoppages in Hollywood history, and the federal government is in the middle of suing both Alphabet and Amazon. So we thought now would be the perfect time to bring you all together for an event. We'll hear from a lot of people involved in figuring out what the future looks like. I will be asking the questions. I will not be making predictions. Before we start, I got to do a kind of run through a few things. These are procedural, but they will be useful to you, hopefully. To start off with, I want to thank our presenting sponsor for this evening, BMW of North America. Without them, the night would not have been possible. And if you're not already on your phone, which I think a few of you are, I would take it out now because we're going to do a few things that involve typing things, QR codes, all that stuff. So they already got it up here. The Wi-Fi network, it's on your badge. It's also on these screens left to right. You know, useful. This QR code is because we are going to be doing polling throughout the night as well as audience questions. So audience questions are you guys submitting ideas to me and to the other moderators that we can use. The polling is actually the thing you really need to pay attention to right now, because throughout different sessions, we are going to put up polls on there that you can respond to, you should respond to. We'll do one in a second that they're going to put up, but also during different sessions, I will integrate that into the conversation. We've got one for Ari that is about sports, and we'll see if he agrees with what you guys have to say. Let's put up the first poll, please. So I'm not going to read out all the names, but the idea is, let's say you come into some money and you can invest in the future earnings of one celebrity, one talent. These are your 5 options. To me, the answer is pretty obvious. It should be number 1. But there's some good people on there. Now, if you want to engage on social media, we have a hashtag at Bloomberg Screentime. You can follow along with us on all the different social platforms at Bloomberg Live. If you have a terminal, thank you for paying for my salary. And also you can follow on LiveGo. There's also an app for this event. I think this is our last QR code of the evening that they're going to put up here. You can use that to follow the agenda, do a bunch of other things about the venue, and also chat with other people here. I want to reiterate what Scott said. I've been to a lot of these events over the years. We're obviously hoping this one is great. It's different, but the best part of it has tended to be not, all due respect to what I'm about to do, what happens here, but the people I meet out there, the conversations I have. So please be curious, please talk. I'm not going to tell you to make money like Scott, but if you do that, God bless.